anything about motherhood, if there's anything about Mother's Day, it's all about giving life, giving birth. And yet out of judgment and resentment, we say that that life is somehow choked off. And we spend quite a bit of time going there. Because if anything is wrong in our life, most people, 95% of the people, will use whatever current problems they have, they will use their childhood as the reason for their current problems. I didn't amount to this, I didn't do that, I could have been a contender. You know, I mean, they could have done many, many things, you know, except for the parents I had, for the mother I had. She wasn't there for me. She didn't love me. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. And basically, my message to you today is that we need to get over that. If you go on your computer and you look up, say, 1950s songs, and you open a window to that, and you open up, you know, dress of 1960s, and you open up a window for that, and you keep going into the past, and you keep opening up windows, at some point, your computer's going to start to run slower. At some point, you will get a message that you've got too many windows open. Therein lies the analogy, the metaphor for what we're doing with our own lives. We go into the past and we think like, I could have done this, I could have done that. And all of these windows to the past are staying open. All these windows of judgment, not information, are staying open because we can't be okay with that's the way it was. That's not good enough for us. Because we play the blame game in life with people in our lives, we play with our loved ones, with our workers, politics, people in office or whatever. We play the blame game, but where is the blame game better played than with the guardians of our youth? The people who had money didn't have money. You know, the people who didn't teach us Spanish or didn't teach us all the languages that we could have learned or didn't teach us etiquette or didn't pay for the college or didn't do this or didn't keep us up. Now the blame game becomes really, really serious. And now all of a sudden everything that's wrong in our life has a cause, has a blame. And this becomes carte blanche to do whatever we want, basically. Because we don't have to go and make our lives better. Because we have something to blame if it's not. So we don't have to take that chance. If we do something different than how we were raised, it's a gamble. Because if you do something different from the way you were raised, you're going to say, oh, that was me, not my parents. And that's a gamble because you're going to have to take responsibility. There has to be a point in your life, and it can come soon, it can come on your deathbed, but there has to be a point in your life. If you want true freedom, you have to start closing some of those windows and doors to the past. Because up to a certain point, it's absolutely true. Your parents had say, 100% say, on what you did, how you did it, and everything else. And now whether they did it right or they did it wrong is up to perspective and conjecture, because time will tell. But also you've got to understand that your parents only had that power for a finite period of time. Now whether that finite period of time was 13 years, 15 years, 18 years, 21 years, there is a finite period of time. After that point of time, they wanted to continue playing the game and you said yes or no. And you said yes or no, not to their face, because they may have even passed on. You said yes or no to one of those doors that you opened inside. And you said yes or no by looking into your past and going like, I want to keep that door open, so if I need somebody to blame, there it is. If I don't amount to much, there's my excuse. If I don't get to travel like I want to do, or if I don't get ahead in life, I want to leave that door open. What I am saying is that at a certain point in time, you have to take responsibility for yourself. And you've got to let that person, that mother, that father off the hook. Stepmother, stepfather, you know, head of the orphanage, whatever it is. That person that had the authority in your earlier years. You've got to let that person off the hook at some point in time and say, you know, okay, that's done. Now I am my own woman. I am my own man. It's up to me how I live the rest of my life. And by closing those doors, you will understand that there's a greater reality. And the reality is the one that you're in right now, not the one that you're looking back on. This is your reality. This is the place where you can manifest. This is where you can make the differences. And all of a sudden you can glimpse the freedom of that statement, but then there's a part of you, that ego part of you that's been alive for as long as you can remember, and that ego part of you says, well, I can't let them off the hook for doing blah, blah, blah. I can't let them off the hook for, for whatever it is. But I'm here to tell you today that you can. You can. If you like what they did, if you like what your parents did, celebrate that. Absolutely celebrate it. If you didn't like what your parents did, then forgive that. They were their own person too. They were doing. If you can't go into the past for celebration, don't go. Don't go. To ruin this moment by visiting something that already happened that brings you down is one of the most self-destructive things that you can do. If there was a bad relationship between you and your mother, you and your father, if there was a bad relationship there, let it be. Let it be. If there's a bad relationship right now between yourself and your mother or your father, let that be also. You're your own person. But they'll get upset. Okay? But they'll get angry. Okay. But they may not talk to me. Okay. Be you. Okay? That's what you need to do. You need to celebrate the good things about your mother. You need to celebrate the good things about your parents, about your childhood. And you need to make decisions today that you're going to make yourself as happy as you possibly can. You're going to close all those windows to the past. And by that, you're going to operate quicker. You're going to operate with more clarity. You're going to open up windows that will actually do you some good. Will actually give you a key to happiness. Give you a key to your celebration. What you want to do is you want to start focusing on the good in your life. And that includes your mother, your father. You want to include all the good things that happened. You may have to search. But there was a birthday that was okay. There was a Christmas or a Hanukkah that was okay. There was a day at school that was okay. Start there. Start making your life a life of celebration. See, the way our life is,